You've got 15 minutes. We've got go-to-market strategy and real talk. I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Mandy. This is Your Future Biz Unfiltered, the podcast for founders and go-to-market leaders who want to scale smarter and stay sane while doing it.
Each short episode includes a tactical takeaway, from ICPs to poopy pipelines to LinkedIn DMs that don't suck.
In other words, this isn't your podcast ran by sales bros in Patagonia vests. This is Your Future Biz Unfiltered.
Want to get your ideal buyer's attention faster? Stop shouting into the void. Speak where they're already listening, aka leverage other people's audiences. In this episode today, we're showing you how to find the influencers, micro creators, and industry brands who are already having your audience's ear, and how to build real relationships with them that lead to co-creation, visibility, and pipeline. Because credibility compounds faster when someone trusted puts your name into the room. I'm your co-host, Lindsay Rios, your favorite go-to-market leader and fractional CRO.
And I am Mandy McEwen, your other co-host, founder and CEO of Mod Girl Marketing and Luminetics. Okay, so I love this topic because this is actually one of the ways I grew my business, Mod Girl Marketing, back in 2010 when I launched it. So when you leverage other people's networks, it's way faster than building everything from scratch. And as we all know, that takes a lot of time, especially when we're here on the internet talking about building businesses online. It is stupid for you not to build relationships with people because it's way faster. First of all, go out on your favorite social channels, hang out where your buyers hang out and their industry influencers hang out, and simply make friends. It's a really simple concept, but a lot of people overlook this because I think they're just so into it. Like, we got to get our customers. And that's all. They're like so narrow focused that they're not thinking about like, what about other people's audiences? Maybe start there.
And I think that besides the fact that it's way more fun to do it like this too, even when we've built a really great reputation for something that we maybe had done prior. I mean, even for like myself, like people who knew me fine, you know, my full-time jobs, when I went off on my own to build a business, I needed to build credibility and trust that what I was now doing for my business was, you know, was good. I was still starting out like a little baby all over again. So I had to totally adjust the way that I was networking and who I was meeting and have people think of me in the right moments. So even if you've been doing what you've been doing for a long time, if you're a founder now, or if you're starting new in something, I cannot recommend focusing on this enough.
So let's talk about the first step, Lindsay, in terms of like making a list, right? So I always tell people like, make a list of the top industry experts or even well-known brands in your space to go after. How many do you think is good for people to start with? Like their dream list of industry, you know, influential partners.
I think 10's a really nice number to start with because the cool thing about that is one, it's very doable, right? And it helps you be a little more discerning, I think, than if you were like top 25. And the great thing is then if you're doing this right, each of those 10, they're going to lead you to a handful.
New ones.
Yeah. I mean, that's how I got to you.
This is true. This is very true. Good point. Okay, so let's talk about where to find these people. I mean, obviously, we're going to say LinkedIn is like the number one, clearly. That's how we met. We love old LinkedIn here. Yeah. But another awesome place, and I know that there might be people that disagree with me on this, but I've met a lot of really cool people also starting out on X and Twitter, especially because we're talking about SaaS. There's a ton of SaaS industry influencers on Twitter, especially AI. If you're in anything AI, if you have an AI product, it is popping on X. I'm old, so I say Twitter. I still cannot call it X.
Not X.
I will always call it Twitter.
Twitter and it's Facebook, okay?
Exactly. It's not Meta and it's not X. So when we were talking about SaaS and AI, there's a lot of legit people on X. And then another one of my favorites is podcasts, which is what we're doing right now. So I have met a lot of really cool people on podcasts. It's a really great way to build relationships and also get your name out there. But even just networking with podcast hosts because they know everyone. So one reason Lindsay and I wanted to make this podcast for multiple reasons, but another reason is it's a lot easier to get in front of your ICP when you have a podcast and you're interviewing other industry leaders. So when you make friends with podcast hosts, man, they can open you up to so many people in your target audience.
Yeah. Because also, we podcast hosts, we always now need people to come onto our podcasts. So we start to really, and then of course, we're going to have a certain type of person that we probably want to have on here, and really, great podcast hosts know people who do a great job at whatever they do, or have a good, strong opinion about what they do too. Another place that I don't think is utilized enough, to be quite honest, are the lists that you can qualify for, award lists and things like that. Mm-hmm. So I got put onto a list that Demand Based and Women in Sales does every year.
Mm-hmm. I saw that
last year.
Great job.
Thank you. I was very like, how is this possible? I just started showing up on LinkedIn, I think it was 4 or 5 months. It had not been that long, right? And we talk about
how cool you are, girl. Okay.
I mean, must be the hair. No. It was also we talked about this in a different episode recently, where it's not just, in fact, I think it's just the one before this, right? The Find Your People one. It's a combination that all aggregates of, I started being active on LinkedIn. I was really active in the Women in Sales community along with a couple others, so I was showing up in a lot of places, even though I felt like I was brand spanking new to this, space. But I say this story actually because it was the 100 most powerful women in sales. Oh my God, look at all these amazing other women.
Jackpot list.
Yep. And mind you, this was not a type of list that you could pay to be on. This was something that other people organically just nominated women that they felt were influential in the space. Mm-hmm. And if you got voted enough, you made it, right? And so I immediately went and connected with every single other woman that was on that list that I had not already connected with. And that has led me to some wonderful relationships and things. So if you are also, trying to grow your business and those people are your ICP, but that's another great place to start getting to know some people. And I saw someone who tried to poo-poo on LinkedIn about these lists are stupid, and it's just a way for companies to try to get more free marketing about themselves and da-da-da-da-da. And I was like, I think that can be true for some of them, but there's a lot of value in them for a lot of reasons, in particular the ones you don't pay to be on. So,
well, it's a win-win. Of course, it's going to benefit the company, but
right,
it's going to
I was like, okay.
You're shining a light on. It wins, everyone wins. So I love those. And just by the way, everyone listening to this, you have a very high probability of having someone accept your LinkedIn connection request when you do it like this. Hey, Lindsay, I just saw you on the top 100 women in sales list and Demand Based. That is so awesome. Congratulations. Would love to connect here. How many times would you accept that connection request, Lindsay?
Every time. I have every time. Now, if I get pitch slapped right away, then I'll just connect you. But if you do it the right way start building a relationship with me and hanging around me and we start chatting, fantastic. Now you've got a good connection. And if anything, I might not be your ICP directly, coming back to the point of our episode here, but I very well probably am connected and hanging out with your ICPs.
Absolutely.
And so therefore, if I can speak about how great I think you might be, because I've been spending time with you now, then that's exactly the whole point of what we're talking about here. So I think that's another great place to spend time is, places like that where there's accolades of people who have done something that stand out and supposedly know what the heck they're talking about. Go hang out with them.
And by the way, you guys can use your favorite AI tool to literally ask this question. Hey Jade, hey Chad, which is our ChatGPT names, by the way, if you haven't heard it in the other episode, or Claude, or Perplexity, whatever you use, literally go there and be like, can you give me the most recent list of the top 100 fintech CMOs, if that's your target audience, right? Yep. Anything, and AI will magically pull up list for you. Obviously, tell it to do the most relevant recent ones from the year that you're in presently, and even, in the last 6 months. But there's so much gold in that. And then that's going to open you up, like Lindsay said, to those relationships. And all it takes is knowing one person that is uber well connected, and you guys hit it off. You make friends with them, you support them, they support you, and you could have endless opportunities there. So you really just have to be yourself and reach out to these people. Another thing too is just brands. The same thing goes for companies. Yeah. Go to your favorite AI tool, type in the top, 10, insert specific, fintech, whatever, software companies. Like, be specific on what types of brands or even communities. So this is what I do. We talked about this before on another episode, is getting involved in those communities, right? Like for us, Demand Base is one, that I actually collaborated with. There's Pavilion, there's Sales Assembly. I mean, the list goes on and on, right? In this particular industry. So make friends with people who work at those organizations. It is not hard. I've done this time and time again. It's just reaching out on LinkedIn, asking the right questions, engaging with their content, and then bringing up, hey, by the way, is there any way I can provide any sort of support in insert your specific subject matter expertise to your community, and then see where it goes. So I feel like just this overall concept is highly underutilized right now.
Yeah. And also with the, the places that you go to show up, make sure they're in line with the things that you care a lot about. Yeah. So just as an example, I'm very vocal about like women in the workplace, period. So like me being, in this list of 100 most powerful women in sales, obviously resonated with me a lot because it's something I'm passionate about. If you're not a person who ever talks about that, is passionate about it, and doesn't plan to, don't join the community that's part of it, because this is not going to work for you. So you can, like Mandy said earlier, you have to be yourself. So there's an approach we've talked about. Let's kind of bullet point though for our audience. How do you build these relationships with these people? What are the tactical things that someone can do to get a hold of someone like you or me if we were those influencers in their space?
Yeah. So this literally, you guys, is the same thing that I teach sales teams and pros on prospecting on LinkedIn. It is the same damn thing. You find these people, you engage with them ahead of time, their content, if you can. You find where they've been listed, right? You mention these things. I loved your podcast episode on ABC yesterday. I saw you were listed on this list. Congratulations. You find something to toot their horn. You send the connection request. You engage with them consistently. If they're posting comment or if they're commenting consistently, you keep on their radar, and then you simply just start the dialogue with them. So anytime you boost up someone's ego, that's obviously going to help you, but just be real and genuine and cool. And if it's your type of person, then you guys are going to hit it off and resonate. So it's just what you mentioned about a coffee chat when we were talking earlier, right? Just having a coffee chat with them, but try to be cool first. Like, don't ask to get on a call right away. This is the exact same thing with prospects, like you're literally just trying to chit chat a little bit, keep it cool, short, to the point in LinkedIn messages. You can obviously take this to email as well, but it's a lot easier to get responses on LinkedIn. And then when the time feels right, you can ask to get on a call.
Yep. Just ask for a coffee chat. Have that coffee chat. There's no other agenda except for to get to know each other, what maybe you both do. And then don't forget to ask, how can I help you?
And then give ideas.
Any networking call you ever do. But
and come prepared with ideas too on how you think you can help them. Do your research ahead of time. Impress them. Show up with the fact that you know what they do, what they stand for. Say that you like, what they're doing in this space. You resonate with it, and then come up with ideas. Hey, I have an idea. Can I provide a 30-minute training to your community on XYZ? Hey, I have an idea. I can come on your podcast and we can talk about ABC. So come prepared with some ideas that you can give them, and then you're going to see, their feedback as well. And then you guys can kind of go from there.
Actually, I have a textbook example of how someone did this with me recently.
Perfect.
So he started by I don't think he purposely targeted me. I think he found me by accident where we were connecting about, it was probably about my what the fuck's for dinner post, because he loves to cook. So he stumbled upon it somehow, and he was just like, oh my God, and so then we just started interacting on posts for a while. And then he ended up asking me if I would ever be down to do these building community chats, coffee chat type things. And I said, sure. So he gave me a link to book it. And then it was really organized too. It was here's what we're going to talk about, and here's what I like doing. And when I like making content out of it after. If you're okay with that, great. If you're not, then we can not do, it was very polite, actually. It was very nice. And then when we had it, talk about coming prepared, there was a whole flow, but it was very organic still. And he did his research, on me. He really researched, he knew the stuff I talked about. He had his own opinions and insights about how I approach being on LinkedIn and the things that I do. He had 3 questions that I answered they're big ones, so they lent to lots of discussion. And then when we were done, he had 2 cards that I just got to pick, 1 or 2 or whatever. And on the other side, either side were questions that were specifically just that I could answer.
Cool.
And it was literally if you could make sales, marketing, and CS be breakfast, lunch, or dinner, which one? Completely talking about something, because I'm so much into the food and all that, right? And so It was
I
so
love it.
cute and so good and so
was
fun.
cute.
And then once he was done, he ended up emailing me. He created this into this whole carousel post. So all he did was do all of that so we could get to know each other also. But then only some of that content has now become a carousel post, of which he made sure I was cool with, which I didn't say anything in there I wouldn't. And then he asked for a recommendation of how it went with him too.
Smart.
Which he put obviously on LinkedIn and on the bottom of his website. So like that's how you do it, man.
Hell
Like,
yeah.
it was great.
Yeah, that is an awesome example.
Yeah.
Love it. Okay, so tactical takeaways. Let's give them what they can do right now to go out, make it happen.
Go make your 10, your target list of the oh, by the way, too, like, not that you can't go after the people who are like quote unquote huge, but like they're not the only people to go.
Yeah, good point.
Right. So like, like Mandy might be a little difficult to get a hold of, but I'm not as hard. No, but like, don't sleep on the micro kind of creators, the up and comers, that are still also not inundated with so much stuff that you might break through some noise. But make your 10 that make the most sense for your ICPs kind of peers and in the space.
Make your 10, figure out how you're going to approach them in terms of like how you want to go about collaborating, but you don't need to do that until after you build that relationship. But go out there, use LinkedIn. Engage with them.
Give them a personal note in the connection request. Do not blank connection request them.
Yes.
Engage with their content for a while, only when it makes sense and it's being you. And then ask for a coffee chat, come prepared like we talked about, and then try to pitch some kind of co-creation that makes sense for both their business and yours.
And that's it.
That's all there is to it.
Okay, stay tuned for the next episode. We are talking about mapping the damn journey. It's gonna be a good one. Map it. See you then.
Bye.
Okay, now go build something cool. If you like what you hear, or at least didn't hate it, hit that follow or subscribe button so you don't miss an episode. And if you didn't know, this is a video podcast too. So if you want to see our lovely faces, go check us out on YouTube and subscribe there. And just like that, another business problem got a little bit clearer, because in the business world, it's not about who raises first. It's about who lasts.